the other point that came to mind. Okay, so you did the Broadway, you did these amazing things. How was that journey? Were you always into writing? Was your passion music? Did you have to choose? How was that?
Wow. So what's funny about the journey stuff like that, when getting a record deal or touring or seeing the world because of music, you realize that it really is about the journey. I mean, because once you get there, you're like, cool, so now what? Because it's like you dream about either being on a Broadway stage or being on a thing, touring the world with your music, and then you're sitting in the tour bus or in the van or you're on the plane or whatever, and you're like, okay, so now that we've done this, like, what's next? And so the answer is, I think the thing you realize is that you need to enjoy the journey just as much as all the stuff that you would normally throw away, like I'm practicing today, or I'm playing, this small club, or I'm playing, a mid-sized club on the way. Enjoy all of it. And I didn't know that as a youngster, but if anyone's listening, let me tell you, the part you're going to really look back on are those, man, even now, like those gigs where, you had your friends there and they were listening to your stuff, or you had, A&R guy in the crowd, or, the record company was there listening to you, or you were just having a good time with your bandmates.
Yeah.
It sounds crazy to anyone who has, who's on the journey going, man, I think that's great, but I want to, be touring or whatever. I'm telling you, the journey is what you're going to miss once you get to the goal.
That's so interesting. So what does it take for one to be able to enjoy the journey? What comes to mind immediately is character building, but it's kind of vague in my mind. Do you have something to say?
What comes to mind to me is age, which I'm hoping that, we can kind of help someone skip. Because I mean, when you get older, you realize hindsight is 20/20, as they say. So hopefully someone will, hear that and go, okay, I need to enjoy the journey more, so that when I get to the goal, it's going to be great. You're going to get there. That's the thing. If you keep working and you stay focused and you will get there. That's never the question. And I always tell people, if your thing is like, this is what I'm doing, I am going to figure this out, I'm going to work, you will have success. The question is, will you quit before? Have you read Think and Grow Rich at all?
I'm in the middle of it. I'm listening to it.
All right. Well, have you heard the 3 Feet from Gold story?
No.
Oh,
but it sounds familiar. I may have heard it from other sources, but tell me.
Okay. So there's a story about this guy who bought a plot of land when he was doing the gold rush, and he was digging, and he had been told that there was like a huge vine of gold here, right? He dug some, and like most of us, he had success in the very beginning. He was like, oh, this is great. He pulled the gold up, paid all of his debtors off, and he's like, this is great. But then the vein dried up, so now he's digging like most of us do, and there's nothing. There's just the journey part. There's a struggle. Maybe people are leaving and saying, we haven't hit anything in a couple of weeks. I'm gonna go back home. And he stops because, probably because, like most of us, there's a lot of failure. There's a lot of no one's around, no one's sticking around. Sells it to another person who was wise enough, as you'll learn, to get a mentor or to get someone that understood fault lines. And they discovered that he was 3 feet from hitting one of the largest gold lines that you had ever seen.
The other guy must have cashed on that immediately. Yeah. So that's about faith, right? So here's my theory. All of us have faith, but many of us, that faith is buried with, limiting beliefs and small thinking, and you shouldn't do this, and you should do this, and you should be practical or whatever, and you shouldn't make waves.
Right.
How can we start removing some of this dust?
It's funny because even telling the story, it's like that's when you find somebody, some coach, some mentor, someone who can help you reach, whatever it is that you're looking to do.
Yeah.
I mean, in the story, that's what he did. He found someone that, understood the journey a little better and said, oh, you need to go this way just a little bit and you'll find another one, as opposed to continuing to dig,
Yeah. Back to the part about enjoying. Would you find that in more of a spiritual direction, or would you find that in a more intellectual, mind-oriented direction?
What do you mean, like
would your actions be different back at the time, or just the way you're put together internally would be different to enjoy it more?
Maybe during the time you would just sat in the moment a little more. Maybe, just like been like, we just recorded an album. Like that's pretty amazing, as opposed to, okay, we recorded an album, now let's press it up and what's the marketing plan? What's next? What we're gonna do next? Okay, so we got this person. Instead of doing that, be like, dude, we just like recorded an album.
Right.
Let's sit and listen. I don't think I even listened fully to any of my albums because I was so, one, critical of, this was off of it. But I never just sat and just listened to them.
Right. If you had sat down and listened to them, would that have affected your productivity?
Possibly. Maybe, I'm fantasizing about that journey part of really enjoying it. But I would say for anyone who's in that journey, because they're probably not going to fully enjoy on the level of just sitting back and being in the moment. There's probably still going to be that part of, I've got to go get it. But I guess the message is just enjoy it a little more than you normally would. Kind
of like some balance in the process, some balance in the journey. Yeah. I was reading The Alchemist years ago, and he went to, I don't know, this castle or this king or this emperor, I don't know, some big deal guy, wise guy.
Right.
And he told him, okay, go enjoy the views around the castle, but take this spoon and keep this oil inside the spoon as you walk. And he walked around and he came back and he said, did you enjoy? He said, yeah. He said, is the oil still in the spoon? He said, no, it fell. He said, okay, you have to do it again and try to keep the oil in the spoon. So he went around, he came back. Okay, is the oil still in the spoon? No. Okay, so that's life. You got to enjoy life, but you got to maintain the balance of keeping the responsibilities or the important things.
Nice. I like it.
Yeah, it's a cool metaphor of the balance. If this is your first time to my channel and you enjoy this content, hit the like and subscribe button in order for the knowledge to reach more people. Also, check out my website for free life coaching tools to book one-on-one sessions to work with me, and for a discounted monthly membership where you get to meet with me 4 times a month one-on-one to do transformative work and unlock persistent emotional and mental patterns that hold us from optimizing our relationships, our careers, and our self-image.